Hey, so good to see everybody right here on 5 Outdoors. We're going to have an extended conversation with my friend over at Game and Fish Commission. This is Trey Reed. Trey, we've got a full agenda of items we can discuss today. Let's first start with an important deadline. This Saturday, the 15th, deadline for some turkey hunters maybe wanting to take advantage of some good public land. What do we know?
Absolutely, Scott. You got until midnight, the 15th, actually 11:59 p.m., to get an application in for our wildlife management area turkey hunting permits. And, we have permitted deer hunts, turkey hunts, even some waterfowl hunts across our WMAs. And with the turkey and deer in particular, you have these situations. We've got areas that are known for, their big deer or known for turkeys. And so you would have this situation, and we have had it in the past, where everybody kind of like, wants to go hunt those areas that are known as, the great turkey hotspots. But consequently, what happens is, everybody's competing for a limited amount of space, and, too many hunters on acreage. So, the way we've managed that for many years is these wildlife management area turkey hunting permits, and, a designated number of permits for each area. And so it kind of spreads the hunters out to various areas. And, yeah, there still is a lot of competition for the best spots, more hunters put in. But, you can also, if you want to try your chances at maybe a spot that's, known as a good turkey spot, but not a great turkey spot, perhaps there's fewer hunters that apply there. So you can see all that at agfc.com. It's a $5 application fee, and non-refundable whether you draw or not. But it's a great opportunity to hunt some amazing turkey habitat on public land. It's still a couple of months until turkey season, but the deadline is today. Opened up January 15th and wrapping up today.
Hope folks watching this in time to get those applications in. If not, look for that again next year. Talking about turkey season means spring's not too far away, and my bridge here to nowhere is, well, it's intern season coming up pretty soon. For someone that might want to work in the conservation field, you guys have some fun opportunities, huh?
Yeah, Scott. I mean, probably the question I get asked more than anything else is, are you a game warden? Because a lot of folks think all of us with the logo on are game wardens. But and the other one is, how do I get a job at Arkansas Game and Fish? And one of the best ways to do that is get your foot in the door through an internship. And internship applications are open right now. Opened up February 1. They go through March 15th. So you still got a little bit of time. But open to rising college juniors. Have to have 60 hours of credit, 2.5 GPA, declared major in a conservation field. And it can be a conservation related field. We've had interns in our communications division where I work in the past, photographers and folks wanting to get into, the kind of line of work like I do. And so you don't have to be like in a biology program is what I mean. But you can check out like all the different qualifications at agfc.com. I believe it's front and center on the homepage right now, but you can also go to agfc.com/internships for a direct link to a page with information about the various internships. And again, the prerequisites to apply for one. But, it's also open to graduate students. If you already have a degree and just not sure what to do next and want to do an internship this summer, that's another opportunity. Lots of, 16 or so internships, I believe, Scott, in various divisions: enforcement, education, wildlife and fisheries, of course. So a lot of great opportunities. And I could go on and on about the number of current Game and Fish employees who started out as interns. I mean, we've had past directors that started out as interns, summer help, and move their way up. So a lot of folks that are working with us now that got their start through this program. So great opportunity. And of course, you work that out with your advisor and everything for the credit you get. And the good news, Scott, it pays too, and so it's a great program, and we encourage college students who are interested in conservation and wildlife and fisheries management fields to apply for that.
I think you raise a really interesting and great point. It's not just a whole bunch of game wardens. This isn't necessarily all law enforcement. Folks like yourself in communications, public facing roles, biologists, scientists, ecologists, you name it, lots of different types of potential there. Hey, I want to ask you about something else. A few weeks ago, we had a guy named Derek Ratchford from the Nature Center up in Springdale. He came on and talked about the Big Squirrel Challenge, had some weather delays, but nonetheless, it took place this past weekend. By all accounts, Trey, it sounds like it was an absolute blast.
I think it was an incredible success, Scott. I mean, we started this thing 5 or 6 years ago. It actually started there at the Ozark Highlands Nature Center, and then got spread statewide afterwards. And it was really a way to sort of get people more interested, more motivated, if you will, to hunt for small game. I mean, we have the world champion squirrel cook-off up there in Northwest Arkansas at the again at the Ozark Highlands Nature Center, and all of this is a celebration of small game. Small game hunting used to be like that's what everybody did, and everybody started out, and it's very accessible. The good news is it still is very accessible. With 3 million plus acres of public land in Arkansas to hunt, and it doesn't require a lot of ammunition. I mean, 22 shells, shotgun shells, pretty inexpensive. So anyway, it's a but we've seen that a lot of folks are just skipping over that and going straight to duck and deer and turkey. So it started out as kind of a contest and motivate people. But man, everybody just has so much fun. Scott, we had a record number of participants this year. 186 teams took part in it. We're standing in line to weigh in their three largest squirrels at noon last Saturday, and another record fell. It was the heaviest three bag of three squirrels that we've ever weighed during the Big Squirrel Challenge, and that was a gentleman named Curtis Valines and his son. Oh, I got to look up. Siler is his son's name. So if two youth or a youth and a mentor can compete in the youth division, well, so they won the fox squirrel only division with three squirrels that. I mean, we weigh them in grams, but I think it came out to like,
Mm,
5.3, 5.4 pounds, something like that. Oh, roughly a pound and 3/4 per squirrel. And that's field dressed, the entrails
yeah.
removed, but, hair's still on. So chunky squirrels. Well, listen to this. So they had so many squirrels and big squirrels you could only weigh three squirrels once and in one category, so they took two other fox squirrels and a gray squirrel and weighed those in the mixed bag division and won that for the
No
statewide
way. No
competition.
way.
Wow.
Now, did
Yeah,
they
so
tell you where they were hunting? I got to know where these fat
well, they,
squirrels
they
are.
didn't, but like I said, they weighed in at the Fred Berry Crooked Creek Nature Center there
Okay.
outside of Yellville, and so I mean I'm assuming they were somewhere around Marion County. I mean that general neighborhood, but yeah, the thing is, Scott, every year we seem that is the place that seems like the heaviest squirrels come from that way inside every year, but
Okay.
it did. It did tell us that we probably need to have like an all gray squirrel competition. So that may be something that we add on. But man, just a lot of happy, smiling faces, especially on the youth participants. There was a girl that weighed in Fort Smith at the Janet Huckabee Arkansas River Valley Nature Center down there that actually had a black squirrel, which is
Oh,
a
wow.
pretty rare. It's a fox squirrel, but it's a melanistic color phase. It
Yeah.
occurs 1% of fox squirrels, so pretty rare. And that was kind of a neat thing to see that she got to weigh that one in as part of her team's bag limit for the competition. But a lot of, like I said, just a lot of fun, man. Humorex stepped up, a sponsor
Yep.
with air guns, and the young woman that weighed the black squirrel actually won the door prize. Didn't win the Humorex as the overall winner, but won a door prize of a Humorex air rifle. So anyway,
Fantastic.
that a lot, just a man, it just seemed like there was a lot of really cool stories that came out of it this year, and so excited to see all that participation in small game hunting and people out and having a good time. And they got to take their squirrels home and, make squirrel and dumplings or squirrel mulligan,
Fantastic.
whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you something that I didn't tell you I was going to ask you about, but you did remind me. You mentioned kids and the Janet Huckabee Nature Center. Any idea how that youth hunt over at Frog Bayou for ducks went last weekend?
I have not heard any reports from there.
Okay,
It was a weird, I was thinking about the youth hunters, central and southern parts of the state. We had temperatures near 80
that's
degrees
right.
on Saturday
That's
and
right.
like 25-mile-an-hour south winds, and then things changed drastically with some rain and
Yep.
cooler weather on Sunday. So I haven't heard a lot. I'm guessing conditions were better on Sunday for
Sure.
hunting than they were on Saturday. But man, you never know. Just got to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, a good lesson for those young kids to learn that sometimes it ain't about shooting. Hunting is a little bit more than just that. Let's talk about while we're talking ducks and waterfowl. Let's talk about that conservation goose hunt and what all we need to know if we want to maybe partake in that.
Yeah, it's sort of a season after the season.
Yep.
It is technically called by the Fish and Wildlife Service the Light Goose Conservation Order. So we're really talking about snow blue and Ross's geese here. So those are the big flocks, mostly of white birds that we see in the River Valley and throughout the Delta of East Arkansas. And their population numbers have just exploded. And then this has been an issue for 20 plus years, but there are so many of them that they are damaging a very fragile ecosystem, the Arctic tundra, where they nest in the late spring and summer. So the Fish and Wildlife Service, there are more drastic methods that could be employed to reduce their number, such as oiling eggs and things like that. But uh, hunting is generally accepted by the public, and so that's a better way to tackle it. And so each year after the regular duck season closes, we have this conservation order, and basically you can the rules are very relaxed and in some cases almost gone. There's no bag limit. You can shoot as many of them as you want. You can shoot until 30 minutes after sunset, which is, against the rules during regular duck season. You can use electronic calls, another thing that's against the rules.
Hmm.
Unplug shotguns. And so basically the gloves are off. They want to give hunters as many tools as possible. And the thing is, it's a really fun hunting
Right.
opportunity. And it typically is going to be on private land, but a lot of farmers will allow people to come on and hunt these things because they do damage to agriculture, especially winter wheat crops. And so there's a lot of win-wins out of this, the Arctic habitat, controlling the population, and the hunting opportunity. But man, it can be a lot of fun when you get these flocks of hundreds, if not thousands,
Yeah.
of geese swirling above you. It can be a remarkable sight. A great opportunity. Here's the other good thing: you don't need a duck stamp, either federal or state. You only need a hunting license from Arkansas or any other state, and a free snow goose conservation order registration number is all it is. Basically, just go to agfc.com, the same license portal where you buy your license, or if you use the app, and just check the box for that. You're purchasing it, but you're not. There's no fee. It's set up like a purchase in our licensing system, but it doesn't cost anything.
So when you lay out all the details about one of these hunts, it literally sounds like the absolute wild, wild west. And in some sense it is, but there is actually some conservation science behind all this at the same time.
Yeah, man,
You're exactly
absolutely.
right. A win-win.
Yeah, look, I'm not going to say it's easy. Even with all the rules relaxed, it's still tough to trick these birds. They fly in these huge flocks, a lot of eyeballs to pick out. If something's wrong with the decoy spread or there's movement or whatever. But man, when it comes together, it's a lot of fun, and it is an acceptable, I think, generally by the public, an acceptable way to control wildlife populations. And I mean, like, look at what's all going on with the avian influenza right now, and wildfowl are one of the big carriers of it, and so that's something else. I mean, one of the reasons I think you and I've talked about this in the past, Scott, is like you get like especially when there's not a lot of water on the landscape. There's plenty out there now, but you get these huge concentrations, even more
Hmm.
concentrated, and that's how disease spreads. So
Yep.
thinning the numbers, has a lot of implications that are positive.
Trey, as always, thank you so much. Fun discussion today. We'll have you back on here real soon. That's going to do it for this edition of 5 Outdoors. Check back next week for more on everything between hunting, fishing, biking, everything in between.